So Nintendo has once again pulled a Nintendo. We were all looking forward to some sort of mid-generation upgrade for the Nintendo Switch. There were rumors everywhere, and I understand that there were rumors. I get that, most of the time they're not correct. I get that maybe we were asking too much to have a Switch be 4K. But if you look at the history of consoles, just in general, including Nintendo, they at least have some sort of power upgrade that makes this system, the new system, worth buying. And the Switch OLED edition does not have that at all. So let's go ahead and just talk about the Switch OLED real quick, and then I'll dive into what in the world is going on and why it's incredibly disappointing, even if you didn't believe the crazy rumors about 4K, 60 frames per second, 1080p on the handheld, because, man, they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. The OLED screen is the only difference. Oh, and it's 0.8 inches bigger. Congratulations. You get from 6.2 inch screen to 7. They basically just filled in some of that black space. And yeah, a slightly bigger screen and an OLED display is going to look really nice in handheld mode. But there are a lot of people like me that mostly play docked. And people like me that play docked have zero reason to buy this system. Zero. If I understand that it's only a $50 upgrade, and that's great. I'm glad they didn't price it $100 more than the original Switch. But we're not seeing battery life improvements. In fact, the OLED screen is going to be, I think, draining more battery. So it'll be interesting to see how they counteract that, because the new variant of Nintendo Switch that had a slightly better battery, maybe that's why they even did it, just because they knew OLED screens were coming. So now it's back to where we were in the beginning. And it reminds me of the Nintendo DS to Nintendo DS Lite. However, the Nintendo DS Lite had a lot of different changes to the design of it. It felt like a better system in my opinion. The screens were a huge improvement over the original DS. I remember it was like a night and day difference. The backlight on the original Nintendo DS was terrible, and the DS Lite was just this crisp, bright, beautiful display. But even as a kid, I was like, it's just a brighter display, I'm not going to get it. Like, as a kid, I knew that wasn't really worth my money, and I didn't get it. I just saved up, and I think I got a PSP or something. But the point being is that it's been, 4 years since the Switch has come out? It's been a while. It's time for a mid-generation update. Xbox did it last generation, PlayStation did it last generation, even Nintendo did it with the 3DS, with the new 3DS. They didn't make it this huge, monumental upgrade. It was a small, modest upgrade that made the frame rate better, and it made games load a little bit faster. It just was a slight upgrade. It made games run better, and that's all I was hoping for, honestly. I was hoping for a better screen for handheld, which we got, which is great for people that play in handheld or don't have a Switch already, but I feel like a ton of people have the Switch already. It's been selling out constantly. People have been buying up that system left and right. And, I feel like they should have put the OLED on the Switch Lite. I feel like that would have been the way to go, because that was a handheld-only system. Why not give that screen to the system that focuses on that? And it would have been great to see some sort of frame rate bump for these games, because even since day one, the Switch has had problems with frame rate issues. I played Breath of the Wild in the very beginning. I'm like, wow, this game looks great, but it still had frame rate issues. I was seeing stuttering. It was just a variable frame rate, and if they could lock it into a 60 frames per second, can you imagine how much smoother and beautiful these games would look? But Breath of the Wild especially had frame rate issues, and I know Breath of the Wild 2, or whatever they're going to call it, is going to have frame rate issues. It's the same game. It looks exactly the same, but it's going to have some more powers and stuff like that. But because it's going to be built on the same engine, it's going to be the same graphics, on the same hardware, we're going to see the same frame rate issues. So I know a lot of people they're for some reason just shitting on people that believed the rumors. I don't think that's fair, considering the rumors, they were a little bit overblown with the fact that they thought Nintendo was going to do 4K. No, I never really thought there was going to... I was like, oh, cool. These rumors seem pretty legit. I'm going to talk about it. 4K seems like a cool thing. But in the back of my mind, I was like, I don't know if Nintendo's really going to do that, because Nintendo always seems to have the least powerful system with the worst resolution out of all the systems, and they're never going to keep up with the other two in their competition. But I was at least hoping for some sort of modest upgrade just to make games run better, and that's it. And we didn't even get that. It was just a new screen. That's it. That's such a shame. It's seriously such a shame, and I really don't blame people, and you shouldn't either, for hoping that Nintendo would do something more. I mean, it's Nintendo, so I guess we just shouldn't hope for anything, because they continue to disappoint. Especially recently, I feel like. They've just been, I don't know what Nintendo's been thinking. Every single time they can do something amazing, they decide to just go and take a left turn and subvert people's expectations in the worst way possible. They've always been a company with weird rules, and they've always been behind on everything. Online multiplayer is crap on the Switch. There's no built-in voice chat. You could have done these things even just with a firmware update, and they didn't do that. Now they're charging for online like everybody else, even though they didn't upgrade the service. They used to go after YouTubers. They're still going after emulation sites, despite not really listening to us and just putting the retro games in the virtual console so we can at least buy them. I mean, if they're going to want money for those games, make a way to buy them. And Nintendo is just constantly doing what seems like the dumbest decisions when they have some of the best intellectual properties. I love that they're constantly creative with their systems. That's why I want Nintendo to keep making consoles. I know for a while the rumor was that the Switch was going to be the last system. A lot of people thought the Wii U was going to be the last system because it bombed so hard. But the Switch has been a huge success, and I'm hoping that means they're going to stay in the console market. But they need to just provide the quality of life improvements that the Xbox and the PlayStation have had for 2 generations now. I think going on 3. I mean, these 360, Xbox One, and Series X. Yeah, so 3 generations. They have had basic online functionality. But I don't know when Nintendo will ever decide to actually join the rest of the other consoles. I don't know if they'll ever decide to actually come out with a Switch Pro that has upgraded hardware, or if they're just going to wait until the next generation of systems comes out, because like I said, they don't really need to, because the Switch keeps selling out, they keep selling games, and as long as they have those weird nerds that will just defend every single thing they do, they're going to keep doing whatever they want. And I have a feeling, unfortunately, that Nintendo is going to join everybody else and just keep inching forward with the stuff that's just not okay. You know, I mean, they came out with a bunch of phone games, filled them with microtransactions. They didn't do it on the console games, thank God, but it was still Nintendo doing it. They wanted to see what they could get away with. They're putting quality of life improvements in amiibos. They're seeing if they can get away with it. Now they're going to see what they can get away with minor console upgrades. They're still going to sell millions of these, and they're going to get away with it again. That's why I hate fanboys, and I feel like the only true Nintendo fans are people like me that are going to continue to hold the company responsible. We're going to continue to talk about what we like, what we don't like, because both are equally important when it comes to letting a company know how we feel about it. Because yeah, they do listen. Companies listen. Remember what happened with Battlefront? Yeah, they had to listen to that. There are so many different things that the entire games industry is listening for. And if we're not delivering our genuine thoughts, what are they going to do? They're just going to keep trying to get away with what they can, because that's what companies do. They exist to make money. That's it. That's all companies exist to do. And if they don't know what their customers want, or if they have enough customers that are willing to buy anything, they're going to put out anything. So it's unfortunate that we're going to see millions of these fly off the shelves. I'm sure it's going to happen. And it's unfortunate that we didn't really get a real mid-generational upgrade, because I would have gotten one. And I feel like a lot of people would have. There are definitely going to be a lot of people like me that are not going to be buying this system because there's no reason to. I would love an excuse. I would love for there to be an excuse to get this system. I would love for there to be. I love new technology. I love new hardware. I love just getting new things. We all do, you know? Big dopamine hit to the brain. Something new, something shiny. But a screen upgrade, no, I'm good. So Hopefully this isn't the mid-generational upgrade. Hopefully they've got something else planned before the next console, but it's Nintendo, so trying to predict what they're going to do is just fruitless, and listening to rumors, unfortunately, no matter how legit they sound, is also fruitless. And, well, I'm hoping for a mid-generational upgrade. Let me know in the comments if you guys care about one, or if you're just going to wait for the next system, or if you have a Switch already and you're just fine with how it is. I feel like it's a bit outdated at this point. I feel like it could run a lot better, and I've been thinking that since day one. I've been wanting a more upgraded Switch. So, you know, I like the Switch. I like the fact that it's handheld and a home console, but I also feel like it desperately needs some sort of upgrade. And I don't know that we're going to see it. Like the video if you guys liked it. Subscribe for more content. And as always, have a fantastic day. See everybody.